the Eurasian nuthatch. There are 24 different species of nuthatches worldwide, with our bird having the widest distribution, breeding continuously from Portugal to Korea and Japan, spanning Europe, Asia, Africa, and Russia. However, the nuthatch has never been recorded in Ireland. Its preferred habitat is mature deciduous or mixed woodland with large old trees, preferably oak. Nuthatches are agile and distinctive-looking little birds, often seen clinging to the sides of trees or hanging upside down while foraging along branches for insects in the bark. They climb up and down trees using their strong feet and have a fantastic song that whistles and rings out across the woodland. You can find them in almost anywhere with large trees, from parks to gardens and old woodland. They have blue-gray necks, crowns and backs with a black stripe across the eye. Their feet are large, perfect for gripping tree branches. Males have a rusty chestnut underside that blends into white under the bill, while females have a slightly less rich coloration. The bill is grey and dagger-like, and they have a short tail with dark coloration and whitish edges. Juveniles are duller in colour, almost grey-toned rather than blue. Its average length, 12 to 15 centimetres. Average lifespan, 2 to 3 years average wingspan, 20 to 25 centimetres. Nuthatch diet. Nuthatches feed during the day, searching for food mainly on tree trunks and large branches. They can forage when descending trees headfirst as well as when climbing. Unlike the tree creeper, which can only move upward on a tree, nuthatches will move both up and down. Some prey is caught in flight, and nuthatches will remove bark or rotten wood to reach insects. They may temporarily join mixed species foraging flocks and frequently visit bird tables and feeders in winter. They store food year-round, mainly in autumn, hiding seeds in cracks in bark or occasionally in walls or the ground, leading to sunflowers sprouting in unexpected places. Nuthatches have been observed using a piece of wood or bark as a lever to open crevices when hunting for insect food, even carrying the lever from one tree to the next. Tool use is unusual in small bird species. The food item is usually concealed with lichen, moss, or small pieces of bark. Nuthatches have quite a variable diet, feeding on invertebrates when plentiful and focusing more on nuts, berries, and seeds in winter. The size of their bill varies accordingly, increasing in depth when caterpillars are prevalent in April-May and decreasing when there is a need to feed on seeds. They feed their young a variety of invertebrates, including winged insects, beetles, caterpillars, and spiders. Breeding and nesting. Eurasian nuthatches are monogamous breeders. A pair occupies a breeding territory, spending the winter there as well. The male sings to defend his territory and attract a mate. Both sexes have a courtship display, including floating, quivering flights, and the male will feed the female while courting her. Nuthatch nests are usually holes in trees, often using abandoned woodpecker holes or nest boxes. They make the entrance smaller with mud to keep out other hole nesters and line the nest with leaves and bark. They also plaster mud around the entrance hole that are the correct size, a curious habit. The first clutch is laid in April-May, with a second sometimes following. 6 to 8 eggs are laid and incubated by the female for 2.5 weeks. Chicks are fed for another 3.5 weeks until ready for fledging. The name Nuthatch is derived from nuthacker, reflecting the bird's method of opening nuts by jamming them into a crevice, then hammering at them. Old country names include mud dabbler and mud stopper, noting the bird's habit of plastering mud around the entrance hole to its nest. Once largely restricted to southeastern England, the 20th century saw a spread to the north, with breeding in Scotland first confirmed in 1989.